Still recovering from yesterday's wild ball game against Pittsburgh, but it's time to get after it again for the D-backs. St. Louis Cardinals in here for the first of four. And it's Zack Greinke on the mound against lefty Jaime Garcia. Another NL Central contender pays a visit. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. The first of four, the D-backs and the Cardinals. A couple of tough losses this weekend to the Pirates. One game was a one-run loss, the other in extra innings. But, Bob, hopefully against another good team from that division, the Diamondbacks can tip the scales with Zack Greinke.
Well, you got the right guy on the mound. Zack Greinke starting to round into the form we expected to see opening day. It's taken him a little while to become Zack Greinke once again, coming off a masterful outing against the Giants, and Madison Bumgarner was the best as we've seen him this year.
He's been better, it seems, Zack Greinke, every time out. What started to work for him?
Command. It's all about his fastball command. That sets up everything. He can use his changeup, he can use his curveball and slider, but he needs to spot that fastball on both sides of the plate, elevate when necessary, and he was able to do that against the Giants.
Well, it's going to be a long series against the Cardinals, first of four games, so the Diamondbacks have refreshed the bullpen back there. Evan Marshall and Tyler Wagner go to AAA Reno. Keith Hessler, the left-hander, is up here from Mobile, and Dominic Leone from AAA Reno.
I think the Diamondbacks just have a permanent reservation on that flight to Reno. A lot of guys with options, and with all the extra inning games, all the innings the bullpen has had to heat, guys are going back and forth both directions. Keith Hessler, Dominic Leone, the two newest to come up.
Well, you'll be familiar with some of the names in the Cardinals lineup. They still have Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina, of course, but they have a new wave of young players, and here's one of them. It's Aledmys Diaz, their shortstop, who in 50 at-bats this year is hitting .480.
Wow, it seems like the Cardinals come up with a guy every year that has everybody in baseball saying, who? Who is this guy? I mean, you think Steven Piscotty, Randall Grichuk, the most recent, Aledmys Diaz, just tearing it up in the early going this year.
And a big weekend in San Diego. He's in there tonight at shortstop for the Cardinals. It's the Diamondbacks and the Redbirds, the first of four. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By T-Mobile, get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. By Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money.
Lone Butte Casino. By Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life?
D-backs looking to change their luck against the St. Louis Cardinals, who have won their last 8 games versus Arizona, including 5 straight here at Chase Field. Zach Greinke on the mound. First pitch coming up. Chase Field, roof and panels closed tonight. How about that wind today, BB?
Wow, good day to fly a kite.
Yeah, crazy. So here we go. First of 4, it's the Diamondbacks and Mike Matheny's Cardinals. His club comes in here 10-8 on the year, having just won 2 of 3 at San Diego over the weekend.
Here's how Mike Matheny will line them up tonight. Matt Carpenter at third base. Stephen Piscotty out in right field. Veteran Matt Holliday out in left. Brandon Moss will be playing first base today. Randall Grichuk in center field. Yadier Molina doing the catching. Jed Jerko, the former Padre, at second base. Aledmus Diaz hiding down there in that 8th spot, and Jaime Garcia, the left-hander, on the mound.
Let's go downstairs to Jody Jackson. Jody.
Well, guys, you mentioned Garcia, the lefty, on the mound, so maybe that's the easy solution for Jake Lamb, not in the starting lineup. Brandon Drury over at third, but maybe it's not that simple because Chip Hale does expect Jake Lamb to hit lefties as he did in the minors, and his progression will continue. But it is the fact that they're developing these 2 young players, and right now Drury in his last 6 games, 10 for 25. He had 3 hits yesterday, and the other factor, guys, is that Chip doesn't expect the D-backs to face another left-handed pitcher until Saturday, so it's a good chance for Drury to get in there.
And he's in there at third. Jake Lamb on the bench. Your Arizona Ford starter is Zach Greinke for the Diamondbacks. Outstanding his previous timeout at San Francisco. What, Bob, worked so well for Zach against the Giants?
As I mentioned in the open, first of all, he ran against a real cold Giants offense, which is always helpful for a starting pitcher, but his fastball command was just outstanding. And anytime he can command that fastball, he can work his way through a lineup with that pitch and that pitch alone, but that really made his changeup and slider and curveball more effective.
Dan Bellino, our plate umpire. Matt Carpenter in there, and we are off and running. The Cardinals and the Diamondbacks on a Monday night in downtown Phoenix. Carpenter just .227 with a couple of home runs. But in typical Matt Carpenter form, even with a low average, he's got an on-base percentage of .370. Tough to keep this guy off the bases.
And he's found a way to get on the plate 11 times in 18 ball games.
1-1. Yeah, you'll see some new names. The Cardinals still very much a contender in the National League Central, but they're phasing in some young guys that we've started to see the last couple of years. They still have Matt Holliday, there he is, and of course Yadier Molina, the catcher, but
some guys like Stephen Piscotty, Randall Grichuk, and Aledmys Diaz that we'll get very familiar with here over the next 4 days. Piscotty on deck. Diamondbacks last season winless against these guys. St. Louis won all 7 meetings. And the Diamondbacks have 4 opportunities to turn their luck around against Mike Matheny's team here this week. A ball and 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter.
I guess that's a mark of an organization that is doing what the Diamondbacks are in the process of doing, constantly developing young talent coming up through your own system. It seems like, as we said in the open, the Cardinals every year come up with somebody from their system that you've never heard from. What do you mean? Stephen Piscotty, who is that? Randall Grichuk, who is he? You know, you don't know who these guys are unless you really closely follow the minor league systems.
Castillo can hang on to the foul tip, and Carpenter stays alive on 1 and 2. That Carpenter led the league in hits 3 years ago. There's Aledmys Diaz, the shortstop, who's hitting .480 in his first 50 major league at bats. Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Who?
Yeah, he's had some big hits for them, a career minor leaguer. They fine guys, you're right. They always have, it seems. Just missed away. It's 2 and 2.
Hazelbaker, a guy you have to keep your eye on off the bench. He's 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter with a couple of home runs already in the early going this season.
Had a big pinch hit home run the other day. Here he is. Jeremy Hazelbaker, a 28-year-old rookie. And Carpenter reaches out and drops it into right, a leadoff single.
Carpenter's always been very good at making adjustments to off-speed pitches, especially in those 2-strike counts when he's already in defensive mode anyway. That time really slowed everything down, kind of an abbreviated swing, but got enough to get it into right field for a leadoff hit.
And here is the right-hand hitting Stephen Piscotty, the right fielder tonight. 250 and 3 home runs. Fastball misses away. It's 1-0. Piscotty hitless yesterday and struck out 3 times in their win at San Diego, but had a big game Saturday at Petco Park, 3 for 5, including a home run. One and one. Zach Greinke outstanding last Wednesday night in San Francisco. Said afterward he's been working on just getting things right since spring training. And said the other night felt really good. He's been getting better each start, he feels. And he certainly looked like he's been getting better every start.
Maybe spending a little too much time on his offense. He leads the world in batting average out of that pinch hit spot. 1 for 1 in yesterday's extra inning ball game.
And a single and a run scored in the 12th inning yesterday against the Pirates. Two and two.
A really good perspective there from behind home plate, how Zach Greinke gets that ball going down the hill. High 3/4 release. Stands very tall on the rubber and tries to drive that ball down to the bottom of the zone.
Double play ball here. Ahmed, Segura, Goldie. Piscotty beats it out. They erase the lead man Carpenter, who got all tangled up with Gene Segura there. It's our Eye on Defense now, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Tomas Owings and Peralta left to right across the outfield. CO's been doing a nice job shagging him down out there in center field. It'll be Drury and Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Segura and Goldschmidt on the right side with Wellington Castillo. Big day yesterday on his birthday. He'll be behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
The 36-year-old Matt Holliday, now in his 13th season in the big leagues, hitting just under .230. He's got 3 home runs.
I think a lot of people would probably be surprised if you look back at Matt Holliday's career. The last 10 years in the big leagues, he's 6th in batting average, 6th in extra base hits, 6th in on base percentage, and 7th in RBI. This guy has put up consistent numbers year after year after year, regardless of the cast around him.
Now in his 8th season with the Cardinals. Lifts this in the air, deep to right field. Peralta at the wall, and it's off the wall. Piscotty had to hold up. They will wave him home as it rolls toward the infield, and Holliday is at third base. It's 1-0 Cardinals.
High fly ball to right field. It was struck well, but boy, David Peralta took a very unusual route to that ball. Went back to the wall first, then runs along the wall. That thing only hit about 3/4 up the fence. He'd gone to the right spot. He makes that play. As it is, bounces all the way back to the infield. Piscotty will score easily with his speed, and Matt Holliday ends up at third base.
An RBI triple for Matt Holliday, his first triple this year. And right away, Zach Greinke down 1-0. He's got a runner at third, still just 1 out. And here's the first baseman, Brandon Moss. Moss at 182. He has homered 4 times. He's always been a guy with good power from that left-hand side. Chris Maloney coaching down there at third for the Cardinals. Moss slumping as of late. He has 1 for his last 18 up there.
It's been a long time since you've called somebody's name other than Jose Oquendo coaching third base for the Cardinals.
Bounced over the mound. Segura in front of Ahmed. Holliday scores, and it's 2-0. I thought Nick, Bob, was maybe loading up to try and come home there, but Segura stepped in front and got the out at first. Let's see.
Nick shading up the middle of the field a little bit. Yeah, it looked like Nick was getting his body into a position to at least give himself a chance to make the play at the plate. The only problem with that is if you don't get him, you really open the way for a huge first inning for the Cardinals. Probably advisable just to go ahead and take the out right there.
So it's 2-0. Randall Grichuk, the center fielder. A young guy with tremendous power, shoots one toward the right field corner. Peralta will watch it head into the seats. And on a play, David's been busy out there already. Grichuk at 228. He's homered 3 times. Had a home run at Petco Park on Friday. One and one. This guy, very good raw power up there. He can really slug it. 24 years old. But he's a free swinger. He will swing and miss a lot. Kind of holds his bat, Bob, a little flat up there.
Yeah, that's what they call it, a flat bat. You don't see many guys hit out of that particular setup anymore. When I was coming up through the San Francisco Giants organization, our hitting instructor in the minor leagues was Hank Sauer, and he encouraged everybody to hit with a flat bat.
Why?
Direct line right to the hitting zone. You think if your bat is vertical, eventually it has to drop down into that slot where Grichuk starts. So why not just put the bat where you're going to have it eventually and eliminate all that movement to get the bat into the slot?
Trying to cut down on those strikeouts with Grichuk. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He drives it toward the corner. It's off the wall again. Grichuk on the run. He'll head for third. And he is in there with
with a stand-up triple. Cardinals are beating up that right field wall.
Boy, they really are. If you want to put an exaggerated shift on, just line the guys up right down the right field line so far in this first inning. Greinke with a drive of his own right down the first base stripe. David backs off, plays that carom off the bullpen wall, but Greinke, another guy that runs extremely well. He's going to motor into third base with the second triple of the inning.
The third Cardinal hit. And the third run 90 feet away with 2 outs for Yadier Molina, who's off to a great start at the plate this year. Ball 1 to Molina, who's hitting nearly .340. He begins this series with a 6-game hitting streak. Sky to right near the line. Peralta moving again. He's got room in foul ground, and they strand Greinke at third. But the Cardinals get 2 Diamondbacks coming up. Arizona Ford starter for the Cardinals, 29-year-old lefty Jaime Garcia. He can be a tough customer when healthy. 2 starts ago, he pitched a 1-hit shutout against the Brewers and struck out 13. But then last Tuesday, trouble with his command. He lasted only 5 innings and a loss to the Cubs.
Well, they say in this game that all the numbers will even out at some point. If so, the Diamondbacks are due against Jaime Garcia. He's a perfect 5-0 in his career with a 2.5 ERA, 3-0 with a 162 in this ballpark. A couple of different fastballs. He'll throw a changeup. He'll throw a slider. This is how Chip Hale's going to line him up tonight against the Cardinals lefty. Gene Segura at second base. Brandon Drury down at third. Paul Goldschmidt over at first base. Yasmani Tomas in left. Wellington Castillo doing the catching. David Peralta has been busy already out in right field. Chris Owings in center. Zach Greinke, the pitcher, batting 8th. And Nick Ahmed back in that 9 spot.
Yeah, Garcia 5-0 against the Diamondbacks with a 2.51 ERA. Gene Segura leads it off, leading the major leagues in hits as we begin play tonight. Segura 329. He's got 3 home runs. And he is second on the team at RBIs this season, behind only Goldie. Not bad for a leadoff man. Bangs it off the glove of Carpenter at third, who falls down trying to recover. Segura's aboard. We'll check on the St. Louis third baseman. He went down hard there.
A couple steps to his left, he knocks it down, and right there the left foot slips, the right foot slips. He goes down awkwardly. That didn't look good. The trainer's out to have a look along with Mike Matheny, the manager.
They scored a base hit for Segura.
have involved a number of potential lower body issues right there. Ankles, knees, hips, hamstrings, quad muscles. Everything was involved in that awkward play.
Well, Mike Matheny and the Cardinals trainers satisfied. Take a look now at our eye on defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Left to right across the outfield for the Cardinals. It'll be Holiday, Grichuk, and Piscotty. On the infield, it'll be Carpenter and Diaz on the left side. Jerko and Moss on the right side, with the veteran Yadier Molina behind the plate. Be very careful on the bases with him back there. And left-hander Jaime Garcia on the mound.
Brandon Drury.
I say be careful with Molina. He has 46 career pickoffs from behind the plate. The next catcher on the list is Russell Martin with 19.
What are you saying?
Yeah, make sure that your feet are underneath you when you take your secondary lead off any base.
Yadier Molina, the National League Gold Glove winner at catcher for the last 8 seasons. Double play ball right to Diaz. Jerko turns it, 2 down. Aledmys Diaz, their shortstop. The glove has been a little shaky, not nearly as good as the bat certainly, but no problems there. And Jerko in at second tonight for Colton Wong. Here's Goldie now with 2 down. 261 and 5 homers. He homered twice yesterday against the Pirates. Both home runs to the opposite field, as we've seen him do so often. For Goldie, his 8th career multi-homer game.
Goldie's starting to heat it up a little bit. 2 home runs in the ball game yesterday. That one with an assist from the top of the wall out there and right. This one didn't need any help. He's 9 for his last 25. That's a .360 batting average. He's drawing walks, 9 walks over that span. And the 2 home runs that you saw in the ball game yesterday.
He begins this series with a 5-game hit streak. And typical Goldie after the game yesterday just said he was able to get a couple of pitches and get them out of there. Somebody asked him, well, what's your plan moving forward here? And he said, show up tomorrow and try and find a way to get on base. That's his plan. 2-2.
He's trying to get a good pitch to hit and put a good swing on it.
Good Lord willing, everything will work out. Let's hope I can help the ball club. Lately, Goldie, last 8 games, heating up, .345 and twice as many bases on balls. Full count, 3-2. Yasmani Tomas on deck. There he is, who caught them both yesterday. He's got a whole setup over there.
He's got spray charts. 3 steps to the left for Goldie.
Well, he was positioned perfectly. There's another walk for Paul Goldschmidt. He began the game leading the major leagues in bases on balls. He's got a 2-out walk for Yasmani Tomas. Another guy who homered yesterday here against the Pirates. 279 and now 4 home runs. And Yasmani comes into tonight with a 10-game hit streak. That's 1 shy of his career high. Goldie takes off for second. Molina's throw is right there in time. Goldie caught stealing for the first time this year. And they're going to hold everybody up, waiting for a signal from the Diamondback dugout. Alan Campbell, the video coordinator, having a look. Umpires are keeping the Cardinals on the field. Let's see.
Yeah, you see Molina throwing from his knees right there. When a runner gets a huge jump, he doesn't even bother to come up out of his crouch. It looked like he missed the tag.
Yeah, Jerko might not have gotten that glove down, but the Diamondbacks will not challenge.
And that's the end of the inning. We are through one. Diamondbacks trail the Cardinals 2-0.
Let the New York Yankees return to Chase.
To the top half of the second inning. Before we get started, let's take a look at Zack Greinke out there on the mound, and our key to the game brought to you by Valley Honda. Home alone. We'll explain that after this pitch.
Please do.
The top three starters in the Diamondbacks rotation have yet to win a game here at Chase Field. Patrick Corbin has one win on the season. It came on the road. Zack Greinke has one win. It came at AT&T Park last week.
So if he were to win tonight, Zack Greinke would be
home alone.
I see what you've done there. Nice. Your staff really on top of things. Jed Jerko leads off the Cardinals second against Zack Greinke. Good to see folks from Rotterdam, New York in the house. They drove a long way to watch the Diamondback win. Those tolls will kill you. Jed Jerko, the former Padre, just under 290. His first season with St. Louis, he's already homered 4 times, including each of the last 2 games at Petco Park over the weekend. Greinke ahead 1-2. Jerko went 3 for 5 both Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday had a home run and a triple against the Padres, his former team. Aledmys Diaz, the new shortstop. On deck, he'll be next.
Breaking ball working away from Jerko. Had to adjust his swing right at the very end so much he came right out from underneath his helmet.
He's always had a busy swing. He wiggles and wags nervously up there, trying to quiet those hands, something he's worked on this spring. Waves at that one. First strikeout for Greinke, 1 down.
Scooted it over a little bit farther. Jerko was able to get a piece and pull it foul on the pitch before. Same pitch, different location. Just pushed it out there a little bit farther.
Well, here he is, the Cuban sensation Aledmys Diaz, batting .480 with 3 home runs. He is smoking hot. He's got 10 hits in his last 14 at bats. And this is his first look at the big leagues. He signed out of Cuba in 2014. And over the weekend, he went 5 for 5 at San Diego against the Padres, the first player in the majors this year to do that. And then yesterday, he went 3 for 5, including a home run. So how are we looking?
Well, I would check the 2 at bats they got him out. See how See what they were throwing him then.
Did something right there. 25 years old. Over the mound, here comes Segura. Throw pulls Goldie off the bag, and Diaz is aboard. Base hit for Aledmys Diaz.
Segura really had to extend, took a couple of extra steps there to get the grip. He still had time to get Diaz at first. Unfortunately, his throw really tailed and pulls Goldie off the bag.
Fourth hit for the Cardinals. A one-out base runner for the pitcher, Jaime Garcia, who gives Chris Maloney a long look down there at third base. This guy's always been a pretty good hitter for a pitcher. Corners crash. There's strike one. Drury in from third and Goldie from first. Jaime Garcia out of Reynosa, Mexico, went to high school in the States at Mission, Texas. And that's where the Cardinals drafted him in the 22nd round back in '05. Gets the bunt down. Greinke bare hands it. Segura is there, and they move Diaz along. 2 outs.
Third baseman, Matthew Carpenter.
So Diaz at second, 2 down for Carpenter, who singled to lead off the ball game. It was a rough first inning for Zack Greinke. Carpenter singled. Holiday had an RBI triple. He scored on a Brandon Moss ground out. Grichuk then hit a triple. He was stranded at third base as St. Louis got 2 in the first. D-backs overload the right-hand side against Matt Carpenter. Drury stays put near the third base bag. Ahmed, the shortstop, on the first base side of second. Right behind Tom Hallion, the crew chief, who's our second base umpire tonight. One and one on Carpenter. This guy led the league in hits 3 years ago. He has led the league in doubles 2 of the last 3 years, but off to a slow start at the plate this year.
Matt Carpenter, another hitter. We just saw Will Myers on the last road trip down in San Diego. No batting gloves. Matt Carpenter never uses batting gloves.
Not too many guys like that anymore. What percentage do you think of the guys when you were playing used batting gloves? Ballpark.
I'd say it was probably, 75% used the batting gloves and probably 25% chose not to. There were a few guys that just wore a glove on the bottom hand.
Like the golf glove guys used to wear.
And
through the shift. Ahmed is there to collect it, and he throws him out. So Greinke works around the 1-out single. Diamondbacks trail it 2-0. Cardinals 2-0 set for the home half of the second inning. It's time for our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms report. The strikeout leaders from each side. Coincidentally, not ironically, Bob, happen to be tonight's starting pitchers, Jaime Garcia, Zach Greinke.
How about that? And one strikeout in the game so far. Zach Greinke was able to punch out Jed Jerko. I have a feeling there's going to be a few more.
Well, Yasmani Tomas was at the plate when Paul Goldschmidt was thrown out trying to steal second to win the home half of the first. So Tomas leads off the second against Garcia. Coming into tonight with a 10-game hitting streak. And Tomas hitting better than .330 during that streak, including all 4 of his home runs. He's just under .280 for the year. Two 2-0. And they have been preaching to Yasmani over and over, and we're starting to see the results here. We mentioned this the other day. Slow feet, quick hands, trying to quiet him down in that box. Here's Dave Magadan, the new hitting coach, who speaks fluent Spanish. And Chip has mentioned that's really turned out to be a tremendous benefit for the Diamondbacks, because Mags and Yasmani can have ongoing running dialogues throughout the ball game. After every at bat, they don't need an interpreter. There's no mixed message there. Magadan in Spanish is excellent.
It's really good. Yeah, I heard the two of them talking on the team bus one night, and they didn't need Ariel Prieto, the translator, talking across the aisle about some of Yasmani's at bats in that San Francisco series.
Three-two pitch. Foul play. Yasmani was up in some big spots yesterday, but he struck out in the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th. Looked like he was rushing some of those at bats. Blast this one to center, but right at pitch, it gets over his head, and here goes a Duncan. He will pull into second, a leadoff double. That was smoked.
Well, this is a perfect example of what we've talked about repeatedly over the last 3 or 4 years. That ball hit right at the center fielder. Very tough to read it off the bat. You know it's coming your direction, but you don't know, does it have top spin? Does it have side spin? In this case, Yasmani got some backspin on this ball and just shoots it over the head of the Cardinals center fielder all the way to the wall.
5th double this year for Yasmani Tomas. And here is Wellington Castillo. All 1 to Welly, who's hitting .263. 6 of his last 9 base hits have been home runs. And he has collected all 10 of his RBIs in the last 7 games. He's really been heating up. Mentioned Garcia's been a little schizophrenic this year. He's had one start where he was just dominant. Struck out 13 Brewers, worked a 1-hit shutout. But then last Tuesday, the command just was not there, and he could go only 5 innings, was beaten by the Cubs.
Walked 4 Cubs hitters in that game, gave up 4 base hits. His first start of the year came against the Atlanta Braves, went 6 innings in that game, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs, walked 3 in that game as well.
So it's a double by Tomas. He's behind on Beef Wellington, 2-0. Ground ball right to Diaz. And And that's what Jaime Garcia does well. He has always been an outstanding ground ball pitcher. He will throw that two-seam sinker somewhere about 35% of the time.
Right fielder,
And last year, he had a sensational ground ball rate of over 60% in 20 starts. He's already got one double play turned behind him back in the first inning.
A sinker, he'll throw a four-seamer up in the zone when he wants to elevate. Has a slider and a straight change-up. Tries to work everything down there around the knees.
David Peralta, 269 and 2 homers, both home runs coming this weekend against the Pirates. What about the idea, Bob, that Jake Lamb did not play tonight against the lefty Garcia? Peralta did. We've seen Chip alternate his lefties with a day off against some of the left-hand pitchers.
Well, you certainly know Jake wants to be in there. He's put together some real good at-bats against left-handed pitching, not only during the regular season but in spring training. But you know, Brandon Drury needs to get some at-bats too, and he's been hitting the ball hard lately. It's a nice problem to have, if you want to put it that way. But I think Jake will still get the overwhelming majority of the starts down there at third.
As Jody told us earlier in the ball game, Chip doesn't anticipate they'll see too many lefties in the next week or so. So Jake should get plenty of at-bats coming up after tonight. 0-1 on Peralta. That'll stay fair. Garcia's on it, and David beats it out. The freight train sprinting up the tracks to the first baseline. So Lawson at third.
We'll give you one for that. Beating out a base hit right there. Swinging bunt up that first base line. Garcia has to spin all the way around with his back to his target here. By the time he gets it down to first base to Moss, David has beaten it out for an infield hit. Hey, you didn't know a freight train could sprint, did you?
Throws enough coal in that fire. It's wrecking the old 97. So here we go. They're on the corners. One down for Chris Owings, the center fielder. CO batting .255. And he has tripled twice in his last 3 games. So he's starting to find some gaps here at Chase Field and use that great speed that he's got, which may be the most underrated part of his game.
You know, just a footnote on that Jake Lamb, Brandon Drury conversation down there at third base. When Brandon comes off the bench, he's 1 for 9 this year. When he starts, he's 13 for 38. That's a .342 batting average. So it's not uncommon for a young player to struggle in that reserve role where you might get a pinch hit at bat in the 6th. No, wait a minute, we're not going to use you right now. Get ready for the 8th. And the uncertainty and all the other factors that go into it sometimes are hard for a young player to deal with. So he's been much better when he's been in the starting lineup.
He didn't play the first homestand, and when he did get up there, usually in a pinch hit role, he looked like a different guy. He did not look like the guy we saw just tear the cover off the ball in spring training this year. That's for sure. That's quite a difference. 1-1 on Chris Owings. And the helpful part for Chip Hale is that Brandon has been terrific about where he plays defensively. They can get him at bats at second base, at third base, in left field, and in right field. He's seen time in all those spots this year already. Tomas, the runner at third. Peralta at first. 1 out. 1-2 on Chris Owings. He strikes out. Here comes Tomas. He will score, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. Peralta at second base. A gift 90 feet for the Diamondbacks leads to their first run.
Yachty a little slow getting over there in front of that breaking ball down and into Chris Owings that time.
pitcher, number 21.
Snuck underneath, rolled to the backstop, allowing the Diamondbacks to put their first run on the board. Seen a ruling yet.
Might be a little intimidating to try and assign a pass ball to Yadier Molina, who's won 8 straight Gold Gloves back there.
Yeah, but occasionally even Gold Glovers get fooled if a guy, you know, puts a little extra spin on a slider and it breaks a little bit farther than you anticipate.
Gary Roush is our official scorer tonight. I don't know if I'd want to be the guy that says pass ball in that situation either. And it is a pass ball indeed. A strikeout and a pass ball each to the Diamondback first run. Peralta at second, 2 outs now, and 0-2 on Zach Greinke, who stepped up as a pinch hitter yesterday. Greinke had a single and a run scored in the 12th against the Pirates.
Got robbed of extra bases by a nice defensive play by David Freese just to knock the ball down. It was headed down into the left field corner. Freese was only able to get leather on it and knock it down. He's still mad about that pass ball. He feels like he should have had it. Well, you want to talk about a textbook blocker.
Well, he's the gold standard for that position, isn't he?
He does things other catchers don't do. He really gets his upper body forward so that when the ball hits his chest protector, it doesn't stay in front of him, it goes straight down.
Well, he plays almost every inning of every game. Their backup catcher is Eric Fryer, and Fryer's had only 8 plate appearances all year. They also have Brian Paney, the former Cincinnati Red. He's on the DL. 1-2 on Greinke.
Waits till the last instant to get in position, and once again that upper body slanted out toward the mound, so when the ball hits the chest protector, it stays right there. Yadi's doing what a lot of catchers do nowadays. They only go down to one knee. It used to be they encourage you to get both knees on the ground and cover that 5-hole with your glove and your bare hand. Yadi and Wellington Castillo, they just get down on one knee, extend the leg out to the side, and then try to cover the hole with the glove and the bare hand. Take it up into the chest protector.
Called strike 3, second strikeout for Jaime Garcia, but the Diamondbacks get one back. They trail it 2-1. Trail the Cardinals 2-1. Time for our Geico This Moment in History. What a legacy moment. This will be maybe the play for which Rick Monday will always be remembered. On this day, those many years ago, interrupted a flag burning demonstration on the field.
Yeah, Rick Monday was a great player, had a lot of highlights as a player, but everybody will remember that one forever.
And USA Today tweeted this photo out from Dodger Stadium today. We believe that's the actual flag. And there is Rick, who had a great career, 19 years in the big leagues, a .264 career hitter. And hit the most infamous home run in Montreal Expos history on what is now and will be forever known as Blue Monday. And a great Dodger broadcaster right now on the radio side, along with Charlie Steiner. Stephen Piscotty leads off the St. Louis third against Zach Greinke. Rick Monday, of course, the first player ever drafted. Right? He was
Arizona State?
Yeah, out of ASU. He was the first pick in the first round of the 1965 draft, which was the first draft. He was selected by the Kansas City A's. Out of ASU, played at Santa Monica High School in California. This is a tough play for Ahmed. Got to hurry.
Nick's glove and arm get a lot of attention, but on many of these plays, it's his footwork. The position he gets his body into so he can make that quick exchange and throw across the diamond in time to get one of the speediest runners on this roster. Kind of rounded it off, made sure he planted his foot before firing on the move.
And Holiday had an RBI triple and scored a run his first time up. Matt Holliday now in his 13th big league season. He's 36 years old and had a stretch of 9 straight 20-homer seasons snapped last year, in large part due to injury. So a big drop in his offensive production last year. Played only about 70 games with hamstring problems. Hit .279, only 4 home runs. And it was the first time since 2005 he did not homer at least 20 times in a season. A long track record of production. Bounce to Drury at third. 3 straight ground ball outs for Zach Greinke. And that brings up Brandon Moss, the first baseman.
Saw a lot of this in that San Francisco game by Zach Greinke. Weak contact, ground balls to his infielders.
What does that tell you from up here?
That tells me that his pitches look like they're good enough to swing at. The hitter thinks he can hit them, and then whether it's late movement or location, you just can't square it up. Can't hit it hard, can't get elevation.
Moss elevates this one. Here comes Peralta. And there you go. 5 in a row set down by Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks trail it. Hey, wake up Jaime Garcia, will you? the third coming up. Hey, fans, adjust accordingly. Tomorrow's game against the Cardinals can be seen only on Fox Sports 1. It's Matt Carpenter of the Redbirds, Goldie and the D-backs, only on FS1, 6 o'clock start, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Bob Brenly will be floating around in the pool tomorrow night.
Toes up.
Nick Ahmed leads off the third against Jaime Garcia. Nick stuck in a 2 for 26 at the plate right now, and Marvin Hudson didn't exactly help him out yesterday in the 12th inning on a bad strike 3 call.
Bad.
Yeah, it was a big miss in a big spot. There's a strike. You know, Nick, this is where the frustration got to Nick. It was a 10-pitch at bat in a big moment, and he said he really didn't say anything he felt warranted getting thrown out of the game. And Chip Hale, Bob, I thought this was interesting after the game. Chip said it was his fault. He was, as always, trying to protect his player, but Chip insisted that he should take the blame for Nick Ahmed's ejection because Nick was up there battling his heart out, got called out in a bad pitch, and Chip said if he could have helped Nick a little sooner, maybe he would have gotten thrown out of the game, and then Shelby Miller wouldn't end up playing left field. That worked out just fine. Diaz throws out Ahmed. I mean, what do you think about that? I think that's Chip kind of being a little tough on himself.
Yeah, I mean, you take the attention away from the player and take the blame yourself. You'll always do that as manager, as if it's justified, as Jeremy Hazelbaker takes over for Matt Holliday in left field. Kind of an unusual move here early in the ball game. But I think Nick Ahmed learned a valuable lesson yesterday as well. There's no question the pitcher was not in the strike zone after that long 10-pitch at bat. He had a real good idea of what was a strike and what wasn't a strike, and he knew that wasn't a strike and got a little upset. But extra inning ball game, roster depleted. You just cannot get thrown out.
Segura fights it off, right center. Greinke coming on. He won't get there. Segura's aboard. Gene Segura, the major league hits leader, 2 for 2 so far.
When you lead the major league in hits, you're going to get your share of these. Little jam shot to kind of fool Greinke a little bit after getting the Tomas ball hit over his head. It's understandable he's a little gun shy out there. Got a late jump and couldn't quite catch up to that little floater.
He's moving up the charts. Here's Brandon Drury, who hit into a double play his first time up, getting the start at third base tonight against the lefty Garcia. We mentioned Hazelbaker, who took over in left field for Holliday, and Holliday had the hamstring issues last year. It looked like, Bob, when Holliday grounded out to Brandon Drury at third in the top half of this inning, he really jogged up that first base line. He didn't look right, and he's had to come out of the game.
Well, the Cardinals are an organization that notoriously over the years have encouraged their star players not to push it too far, especially if you're nursing some kind of an injury. Think back to when Tony was managing the Cardinals, and Albert Pujols occasionally would have some leg issues and hit a hard ground ball right at the shortstop and take about 15 seconds to get down that first baseline. But if he hit a ball in the gap late and you needed him on third base, he'd find a way to get there. Yadier Molina doesn't always bust it down that first baseline. Of course, when you catch about 1 billion innings a year, it's understandable that they don't want him to have any kind of leg injuries trying to leg out an infield hit.
So we'll pass word along as soon as we get it from the Cardinal clubhouse about the condition of Matt Holliday, but Hazelbaker is out there in left now. 1-1 on Brandon Drury. 1 out. Segura at first. 1-2. Let's go downstairs to Jody.
Hey guys, we were talking about Drury and Lamb and developing those players, getting them at bats. You guys were right on target. I talked to Brandon Drury earlier today. He said absolutely it's hard when you don't get a ton of at bats. He feels like he plays better and hits better when he's getting more at bats. The one thing though that Chip Hale alluded to today is the fact that I think he thought he might get more of a chance to rotate guys, particularly Drury at second, but Gene Segura has just been that good as the leadoff man.
That one goes through Molina again, and Segura gets another 90 feet. It rolls all the way to the backstop. Gene thought about third, but Molina's got it. Whoa, whiffed.
Oh, another one, another pass ball. I'm assuming that's a pass ball. The ball did not hit in the dirt.
Mark this game down.
Man, I mean, we saw Goldie make 2 errors yesterday, something I'd never seen before, and now 2 pass balls on Yadier Molina in the same game.
What's going on? What's the deal with that?
He had 66 pass balls in over 12,000 innings.
Yeah, and he's got 2, as he just pointed out. 2-2 on Drury. Segura now at second. And he struck him out. Third strikeout for Jaime Garcia.
For me, Brandon Drury's a pretty good breaking ball hitter. The harder breaking balls, the slower the breaking ball, the slower the changeup. He becomes a little more susceptible, but he reads hard breaking balls really well.
Well, here's Goldie, who leads the major leagues in walks, and he walked his first time up against Garcia.
You hear that? I think it's Clint Hurdle saying, walk him, walk him.
It's in the wind.
All the way from Denver, we can hear Clint Hurdle saying, put him on.
Pirates lead the Rockies 1-0 in the 5th at Coors Field. Why didn't he walk him?
I don't know.
In that 9th inning yesterday.
The only thing I can figure out is, and we talked about it throughout the series against the Pirates, Goldie just didn't look like Goldie. He swung through some pitches. He took some hittable strikes. He just didn't look like himself. And I think maybe Clint Hurdle thought, well, this is an opportunity to challenge the big boy, see if we can't get him out in this situation, and he made him pay. A couple of opposite field home runs.
That's a grounder to Carpenter at third, who falls down as he throws and makes the play. Second time in the ball game. Carpenter has been down. He's back up and looks just fine. And that's the end of the inning. We'll go to the 4th. Diamondbacks trail at 2-1. One set for the 4th inning, and fans, you can follow Arizona Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. You can stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, statcast, news, the whole thing. Just download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Randall Grichuk leads off the St. Louis 4th against Zack Greinke, who has retired 5 in a row. Zack has settled down after a bumpy first inning. Cardinals got 2 in the first on a Matt Holliday RBI triple. A Brandon Moss RBI groundout. Holiday has since had to leave the game with an injury. We're not sure what. Replaced in left field by Jeremy Hazelbaker. Yes, he went. Adam Hamari down there. Jody, any news on Matt Holliday?
There is news. They just mentioned that Holliday left this game with a right leg cramp. So that was the word from the training room on Holliday. You could see he was in some pain there. And like you guys mentioned, better safe than sorry, I think, on the Cardinals side of things.
He grounded out in his second at bat to third base and really took his time getting up that line. Didn't appear to be right. Swing and bunt. Going to stay fair for Castillo, and he throws out Greinke. One away.
Catcher, Yadier Molina.
Yadier Molina flied out in his first at bat. Molina's 13th big league season. He'll be 34 years old in July. And for the first time, maybe in 2 years, is healthy. He has spent much of the last 2 seasons battling very difficult ligament injuries in both thumbs. A couple of years ago, it was the right thumb. Last year, it was the left thumb. He actually needed 2 surgeries on that left thumb this offseason. One right before spring training. But he is significantly stronger, he says, this year than he has been the last couple of years.
And seems to add more tattoos every offseason.
I still say you should get a neck tattoo. I don't know why you're holding back. Look at that. You could get a slice of pizza up there.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Maybe the names of all the grandkids could go up there all around your neck. It's a lot of ink.
You know, our crack staff here, they're right on top of it. 2 passed balls in the game already tonight for Yadier Molina. Only the 3rd game of his career where he's had 2 passed balls, and it's been 4 years since the last time it happened.
I believe it. Two and two.
You know, that's an injury that doesn't get mentioned much when you talk about catchers. You always say, oh man, how are your knees, how's your back? Thumbs.
Yeah.
I mean, especially on that left hand, you take a pounding. Guys, right-handers that throw that hard sinker, and you end up turning your thumb down toward the ground to catch the ball, and it takes the brunt of the contact. That's how I got to know Dr. Sheridan.
Well, Molina's certainly been acquainted with the Cardinals doctors. 2 surgeries to fix up that left thumb this winter. He did not even get an at bat during the Cardinals' first 2 weeks of spring training games. He got healthy and ready right before the season started. But he is red hot out of the gate here, hitting almost .340 to start the year. Reaches down and lifts that to right center field. Chris Owens is there.
Breaking ball away. Yadi kind of slows his body down, tries to stay on it and drive it to that gap in right center, but just turns into a lazy fly ball for Chris Owens.
2 down for Jed Jerko, and they're at second base. He struck out his first time up against Zach Greinke. Jerko getting some immediate playing time in the Cardinal infield. They had some spring injuries to Johnny Peralta, who's still out. And Ruben Tejada. Nick on there. 1, 2, 3, 4th for Greinke, who has set down 8 in a row. It's 2-1 St. Louis.
Lead it on the scoreboard 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Let's take a look at something to smile about. Brought to you by Cricket Wireless. There's Monty Tomas smiling after this ripped line drive over the head of Randall Grichuk in center field all the way to the wall. He later came around to score the Diamondbacks' only run of the game on a Yadier Molina pass ball.
And on that double, he tied his career high now with an 11-game hitting streak, as Monty Tomas. And a lead off the 4th against Jaime Garcia. Tomas, Castillo, Peralta 4, 5, and 6 for the Diamondbacks. I'm not sure how you see the game like that. Loading up on giveaway items right there. 2-0 on Tomas. It's like they're quarantined or something.
You're not really quite sure where he's looking or if he's looking.
You don't know. I think that's the point. No one else around him seems alarmed. So I'm going to assume everything is fine. And Yasmani, a 4-pitch walk to open up the 4th. Second walk of the ball game by Jaime Garcia. Hey fans, it's time for another edition of the Dennis Lamb Show, and Dennis here. Oh, we're over here. Dennis. There's Dennis Lamb.
Over in his office.
Lots of big home games coming up in May you don't want to miss. Saturday, May 14th. Let's, Dennis, start with a t-shirt. This is May 14th. This went a lot better in rehearsal. Star Wars night. Fans can get that Star Wars soft dial t-shirt courtesy of Cox Communications. Here's Wellington Castillo. All right, rally time, Dennis here. We've got a moment to regroup. Now that Dennis is modeling is the D-backs mesh pool bag right there. That's a big bag that holds a lot of stuff. And also you can get the D-backs barbecue apron, which Dennis is modeling for us. So all this stuff is coming up May 16th through the 18th. And that's a big series, the Diamondbacks and the Yankees right here at Chase Field. Memorial Day weekend, we give away the mesh pool bag and the barbecue apron. The Star Wars night is Saturday, May 14th. And a list of all the promotional items and tickets can be purchased at dbacks.com. That's another episode of the Dennis Lamb Show, which has turned into apparently a slapstick comedy. Nicely done, Dennis.
Did a real nice job of dropping all of our promotional items.
Well, oh well. Great comedic effect. Boy, Garcia's thrown 6 consecutive balls, and there's a strike to Castillo. 2-1 now. Is Michelle available? Can we get her back? Base hit. Now as Monty Tomas stops at second, Castillo's aboard at first, and the Diamondbacks have something going in the 4th here against Jaime Garcia.
That was away that time. Has that big hole on the right side. That looks so easy. Brandon Moss holding on the runner. Second baseman Jed Jerko cheating a little bit up the middle of the field. Just look for a pitch out over the plate and shoot it that direction.
David Peralta had a swing and bunt single his first time up. He's 1 for 1. So David has now hit safely in 4 straight games in 10 of his last 12. Slicing foul. It's 0-2. Tomas, the runner at second, Castillo at first. Tomas at first. And the runners move up. Chris Owings now. CO struck out his first time up.
Small consolation for David Peralta, but against a tough lefty like Jaime Garcia, just advancing those two runners 90 feet into scoring position, that's a productive out. An opportunity for Chris Owings here, possibly drive in a couple.
Making Jaime Garcia work. Diamondbacks have had base runners in every inning so far. They have out hit the Cardinals 5-4, but trail it 2-1. Hales Ball Club trying to change their luck against these guys. Diamondbacks last season 0-7 against the Cardinals. That included a 4-game sweep at the hands of St. Louis here at Chase Field last August. Over the mound. This will score Tomas. RBI for Owings, and the Diamondbacks tie the ball game.
Gets an RBI for that ground out to second base right there with the runner at third. Give half an RBI to David Peralta for moving him up with that ground ball.
So 2 down. Castillo at third for the pitcher Zach Greinke. Bobby Freeman.
Billy Preston of the National League West.
Bobby's the man. Ballpark just not the same without good organ music.
Playing.
There's Bobby.
Look at that setup, man.
He can jam. Bobby's busy in the offseason, man. He has gigs all over the valley.
Very impressive, Bobby.
You guys should get together and do a thing.
Well, we almost did. playing with Dan Bickley's band Whiskey's Quicker out on the plaza before a ball game one night. I played pregame and Bobby played postgame. So we'll start our own band.
Hey, it's a good idea.
Bob and Bobby.
There's something there.
Not much.
Castillo at third. 2 outs, 2 and 2 on Zach Greinke. Full count. Nick Ahmed on deck. Greinke batting 8th tonight.
Been talking a lot about Yadier Molina and his pitch blocking ability. Mike Matheny, his manager, was the best I ever saw.
Really? Wow.
The best.
Well, Matheny's a huge guy. Does that help?
Doesn't hurt anything. I'll tell you how good he was. Mike Matheny, when the pitcher would go out to take his 8 warm-up pitches between innings, he would block those pitches just to make sure his pitcher had confidence that during the game, if you throw that breaking ball in the dirt, I'm not going to let it get by.
Of course, there's that famous story about Matheny, who was the Cardinals catcher, seeing young Yadier Molina, the minor leaguer, and went home and told his wife, "I just saw the guy who's going to replace me." And he was right. Garcia misses, and Greinke works a walk. 3rd walk for Jaime Garcia. And now Nick Ahmed gets a shot here with 2 on and 2 out.
Shortstop, Nick Ahmed.
What a good at bat by Zach Greinke. A couple swings at pitches close to the strike zone, ends up taking the base on balls.
Just got a text from another former major leaguer who agrees. Says Matheny, hands down, best blocker ever. Yeah. Stay fair. James Too Tall Tolar is down there working the right field line. Too Tall was on that thing. Numbers for Nick Ahmed when he hits 9th. Chip Hale has really liked the way this has worked out. Castillo at 3rd. Greinke at 1st.
Molina would never have 3 pass balls in one game, would he?
Boy, you're messing with the baseball gods right now.
I'm trying.
You got an A for effort, that's for sure. Two and 1.
Dennis Lamb had 3 pass promotional items up there in 1 inning, so anything can happen.
Dennis, QVC call, they are not interested.
Not at all.
Not even close. 2-1 pitch. Can't find it. That one, it looked like got Dan Bellino back there. And Dan is down, the home plate umpire. Ooh, yeah.
Right underneath the left arm, between the arm and the rib cage, shot right through and got the home plate umpire.
Ryan DePanfilo, the Diamondbacks assistant athletic trainer, is out there to take a look at Dan Bellino. Goes back to what we were talking about the other day. I miss the big American League mattresses that the umpires used to have back in the day. You could drive a truck into a guy, he'd be just fine with those things. Yeah, that one really caught him. Tom Hallion, the gentleman with his back to you right there in the middle, is the crew chief, the second base umpire tonight.
I'm Not sure exactly the rotation for umpires. If there's an injury, if Dan Bellino would have to come out of the game, I would assume the first base umpire, Adam Hamari, would take over behind the plate. So Adam's there saying, Dan, you're all right. You're okay.
Because then he has to go into the clubhouse and go to the umpire's dressing room, put all the gear on. And it's a whole thing.
Just take a deep breath. You'll be all right.
Unfortunately, it looks like he's okay.
That's good.
Garcia really struggling to throw strikes. He's at 70 pitches, only 41 strikes. He's walked 3, including 2 in this inning. 1 has scored. That was Tomas to lead off the 4th. And now he's behind on Ahmed, 3-1, with Castillo at 3rd and Greinke at 1st. He's got room and he's got it. Bobby Freeman plays us out. Diamondbacks have tied it up. 2-2 ball game here at Chase.
Fifth inning. Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up on one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Oh, Zach Greinke had a rocky start to the ball game tonight. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. 2 of the Cardinals hits were triples, one by Matt Holliday, who has since had to leave the game with the cramps in his hamstrings, and another by Randall Grichuk. So right away it was 2-0 St. Louis, but Zach has really settled in. He has retired the last 8 he has faced, and now at a 2-2 ball game. Aledmus Diaz, the shortstop, leads off the St. Louis 5th. Diamondbacks got their runs on a pass ball. Tomas doubled to lead off the second, came home on one of 2 Molina pass balls we've seen in the ball game. And another run in the 4th inning on Chris Owings' RBI groundout. Diaz, who came into the ball game tonight hitting .480 and a single back in the second. How about this? Hack Miller.
What a great name.
It is, isn't it? Brett Barbary. Good player. Aledmus Diaz defected from the Cuban national team in June of 2012 while they were on tour in the Netherlands. Got a 4-year, $8 million deal from the Cardinals. And spent most of his first season in their system dealing with a shoulder injury. They were almost ready to give up on him, in fact, but he has shown himself to be what they thought he would be initially, which was a line drive hitter. Good bat speed, some good power, especially when he pulls the ball. And he knocks this one up the middle by diving Ahmed, and Aledmus Diaz is 2 for 2.
You could just see him tracking that ball, guides it right back up the middle of the field. Not easy to get it past Nick Ahmed, but that one shoots through into center field for a leadoff base hit here in the 5th.
And now Jaime Garcia, the pitcher, steps up. Brandon Drury comes in from 3rd. Greinke at 60 pitches, 42 strikes. Garcia gets it down. Greinke has 1 play, and they move Diaz along. 1-4 on the sacrifice. Second time of the ball game Garcia has done that.
Third baseman, Matt Carpenter.
Here's Matt Carpenter. He has singled and grounded out, 1 for 2. This guy's got surprising power. 28 home runs last year. Seemingly out of nowhere, his previous career high had been 11 home runs. Diamondbacks have the shift on. At what point, Bob, in a game like this might you play for 1 run on either side? Still relatively early. We start the 5th inning here.
I don't know. I think for the Diamondbacks, the way the games have gone this year, you never play for 1.
Right into the shift, right to Segura. 2 down, and Diaz moves to 3rd.
I think that's more a byproduct of what the pitchers on the mound are doing. If your guy's on top of his game, 1 run might be enough to get you a victory in the game. Their guy's on top of his game. You might be lucky to score 1 against him. So I think more than anything else, the determining factor is how are the pitchers throwing.
Well, Greinke has retired 10 of the last 11 he's faced. He's got Diaz at 3rd, 2 outs for Stephen Piscotty, who is 0 for 2. Seems like Diaz has done a pretty good job, or Garcia, I should say, has done a pretty good job of limiting the damage on a night where he doesn't look especially effective.
And that's always a real good sign for an ace, a guy that can go out there. I've talked about it with Patrick Corbin. I've talked about it with Zach Greinke. When you don't have your best stuff, but you still keep your team in the ball game somehow.
Zach Greinke, it's off the Gold Glove, and it'll bring a run home. RBI single for Stephen Piscotty makes it 3-2 Cardinals. Tough break there for the D-backs.
Just an instinctive play by a guy who's made a lot of great plays in the middle of the field.
Left fielder,
hard to tell if either Gene Segura or Nick Ahmed would be able to get to that ball and still get the out at first base. You certainly can't fault Zach Greinke for trying to make that play.
Our first look at Jeremy Hazelbaker, who took over for Matt Holliday in left field. Holliday had to leave with leg cramps. 280 and 4 home runs, a 28-year-old rookie. As Piscotty is back in time. This is Hazelbaker's first look at the big leagues. He homered Saturday in San Diego. That snapped an 0 for 17 skid. Jaime Garcia really visualizes between innings.
Get him and Goldie together.
I'm not sure that they'd know each other was there.
I don't think they'd be visualizing the same things, but a valuable tool, you know. Sports psychologists, big part of the game nowadays, getting guys to relax and allow their talents to come forth without clouding it up with that area between the ears.
Hazelbaker drives it to Tomas, and it's over his head and gone. The fan reached over. It's a home run for Hazelbaker, but hold on here. They may take a look at this.
baseman Brandon Moss.
Hazelbaker's been a weapon off the bench for the Cardinals. Right at the top of the fence. Hard to tell whether that would have hit and come back into play or hit and bounced on out.
Chip Hale waiting for word from the D-back clubhouse. That's the guy who caught it, may or may not have leaned over. And here comes Chip to talk to Dan Bellino. Boundary calls, which include fan interference, are subject to review. And they will huddle up.
From that angle, it looked like the ball may have hit the front side of the yellow stripe and come back onto the field of play. He definitely reached over a little bit. If Yasmani had had another step or two to get back to the barrier right there, he might have been able to make a catch on that ball.
They're going to talk to New York. Tom Halley and the crew chief.
Something to file away for future at bats. Jeremy Hazelbaker has good opposite field power. He just flipped that ball out there to left field.
Replay review. The call on the field was that it was a home run.
This is under the heading of a boundary call, which is subject to review. And this is not a challenge. This is an umpire review.
And keep in mind, New York occasionally has different angles than we have. We've seen it a couple times. It was very hard to tell whether that fan reached onto the field of play or was he right above the left field fence. But New York may have a couple of angles that we haven't seen yet.
Home runs are subject to unlimited review at the discretion of the crew chief. In this case, Tom Halley on the left there. Another look. That's close.
It's really close.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And here we go. That's a home run. Jeremy Hazelbaker takes Zach Greinke yard, and the Cardinals lead at 5-2.
This fan has obviously seen some games at Wrigley Field. The home run ball is in his glove, and he throws a batting practice ball back onto the field. That's a common practice at Wrigley.
Wrigley, of course, they have the basket in front to try and prevent just what we saw. Brandon Moss. Diamondbacks have the overshift on. They overload the right-hand side. So it's a 3-run St. Louis fifth. A roller away from the shift. Cardinals get 3-2 on the Hazelbaker homer, and they lead the Diamondbacks 5-2.
Cardinals. Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
With that ball that went off the glove of Greinke with 2 outs that Piscotty hit, really looming large right now, turned into a single for Piscotty. Hazelbaker followed the 2-run homer, and it's 5-2 St. Louis as Gene Segura leads off the Diamondback 5th. Talk about a game of inches. Jaime Garcia has not pitched especially well. He's given up 2 runs on 5 hits and walked 3. He's got 3 strikeouts. Segura 2 for 2, and there's strike 1. Segura's now hit safely in 5 straight games, 8 of his last 9. Leading the major leagues in hits. Fair ball down the right field line. Segura's 3 for 3. He'll take the turn and head for second. He is in there. 4th double this year for Gene Segura. A high energy guy, the spark plug at the top of this order.
And this is what he brings to the ball club. An inside out swing, produces that ground ball to the right side. No hesitation, turns that corner at first. A little bit of a risky try right there, trailing by 3 runs, but he beats that throw to second base and quickly to his feet, ready to advance to third if the Cardinals don't get on that overthrow quickly.
Here's Drury, who has grounded into a double play and struck out in there at third tonight against the lefty Jaime Garcia. Brandon has had 3 consecutive multi-hit games. A couple of doubles yesterday against Pittsburgh. He's down 0-2. Matt Williams coaching at third. Segura back, throws high, but Moss gets the foot down, and they retire Drury.
Boy, Matt Carpenter is all kinds of out of sync over there at third base. He's fallen down twice in the game. Now this time fields a shot off the bat of Brandon Drury and throws high to first.
He's a guy that's played all over the field. Second base, first base, now third again. Goldie has walked and grounded out. Segura bluffs and holds at second. There's his strike, 0-1. Making a lot of noise down there at second. Two. Goldie, since the batting average hit 200 back on April 15th, which was the opener of the series at San Diego, has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. He's also walked a dozen times during that span and leads the major leagues in bases on balls. He's walked once tonight.
That double by Gene Segura, his first extra base hit against a left-handed pitcher this season. Goldie has 3 hits off lefties in 21 plate appearances this year, and I only say that because the Diamondbacks have seen left-handed starting pitchers in 7 of their 21 games so far this season.
Bunch of them lately. Had Nice on Friday, Liriano last night, Garcia tonight. 1-2 to Goldie. Molina can't find it. Segura will stay put. Another classic at bat where Goldie is quickly down 2 strikes and works it back full. We have seen that so many times. Yasmani Tomas. Yasmani's had a really good night here. He has scored both D-backs runs. He doubled in the second and walked in the fourth. And that double extended his hitting streak to a career high 11 games. Down 5-2. You'd hate to see him waste a leadoff double. Segura still at second.
Good swing that time.
What'd you like about it?
Many times in the past, it's just the direction of the foul ball, straight back over Yadi's head, right over the umpire's shoulder, straight back to the backstop. That's usually an indication to a hitting coach that the guy was right on the pitch.
Here are the hitting coaches. Dave Magadan on the left, Mark Grace on the right. Ooh, strike 2, says Dan Bellino.
Yadi wants it down and in, throws it all the way across the plate. And you see the catcher reach that far. You assume the ball was off the corner, but it looked like it was able to catch just enough of that outside corner for the called strike.
0-2.
Yeah, it looks like the University of Michigan M on the top of Yadier Molina's chest protector above that gold plate there that he gets for being the greatest catcher ever in the history of the game.
I like how the Ohio guy noticed that.
Yeah, it's kryptonite. Of course, Mike Matheny went to the University of Michigan.
M go blue. Tapper back to the mound. Garcia. Well, Segura leadoff double and he stays there. Diamondbacks trail at 5-2. Fans, may the force be with the D-backs as they take on the San Francisco Giants at Star Wars night coming up Saturday, May 14. And if you arrive early, you'll get the D-backs Star Wars soft style t-shirt courtesy of Cox Communications, as modeled earlier by Dennis Lamb on the Dennis Lamb Show. So May 14th, Star Wars night. For that soft style D-backs Star Wars t-shirt, visit dbacks.com for tickets. Randall Grichuk leads off the St. Louis 6th against Zack Greinke. That's that soft style, which is it's all nice and comfy. Feels good on there. Usually they make those things out of rough material, but the Star Wars t-shirt here, that's top of the line stuff. Grichuk has tripled and grounded out, 1 for 2. Just inside, a ball and a strike. Let's go down to Jody.
A story about Randall Grichuk. Got off to an awful start at the plate. Ended up, they were in Atlanta. He goes to what is described as kind of a rickety older slider machine called the Hack Attack. And all the teams have them, but this one was older, but it was just what he wanted to retrain his eye. The sliders were just off enough. And he felt like he did what he needed to do. He took about 50 of those pitches off the machine, just was looking at them, trying to pick up the ball, and you know, got back on track for a bit there, was walking more, and he feels like that got himself on track for this season.
Yeah, they have tried to train his batter's eye, as he's been a guy that's struck out a lot. They line him up in there against the slider machine. That was the assistant hitting coach, Derek May, and he stands in there and gets in his crouch with a bat, but he doesn't swing. He just calls out ball or strike as soon as he can pick it up, and that's the attempt to recalibrate his batting eye to lay off those breaking balls. This one high in the air. And now it's Manny Tolas coming in now.
Yeah, Grichuk started the season 1 for 15, but over his last 11 games he was hitting .286 with 6 extra base hits, had driven in 11. Get everybody one of those machines.
Yadier Molina. Yeah, Grichuk's a guy who last season struck out more than 30% of the time he was up there. Molina 0 for 2. Did you see the new Star Wars movie? Did you at least get on board that?
I didn't see the old Star Wars movie.
Well, I thought maybe you'd pick it up. The only reason I say that is because the t-shirt is coming up May 14th at dbacks.com/tickets for the soft style Star Wars t-shirt. Because if you saw the movie, you could wear the t-shirt like Dennis Lamb is doing right now, and I think it'd look good on you.
Yeah. You know me, I like free t-shirts.
Yeah, there's Dennis. There it is. Courtesy of Cox Communications. Saturday, May 14th, fans. D-backs and Giants. 1 and 2. You know, there was a fair amount of buzz about the Star Wars movie, the new one.
I heard that.
I like when he came in today and asked me about Game of Thrones and said, so did you find out what happened to John White? I'm like, no, that's Jon Snow, BB.
Well, Snow is white.
That's true. You're
confused.
Close.
Too much binge viewing going on as it is. That's a dangerous thing. Man,
oh yeah, man. Watch 5 years worth of one show in about 2 days. Come out of your cave. That's blasted to right center. Owens with that good speed over to cut it off, and Molina has a one-out single.
Second baseman Jed Jerko.
Jed Jerko 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Jerko was supposed to be their super utility guy. They traded John Jay, their outfielder, to the Padres to get him. He was going to play all over the place. But Colton Wong has had a slow start. Jerko's done pretty well up there. He's .275, 4 home runs, so he's been playing a lot lately. And Diaz has really settled in at shortstop, and Jerko's been playing second base as of late. Johnny Peralta, their shortstop for the last couple of years, is still out. And Ruben Tejada just came back. Peralta tore a ligament in his left hand in spring training. He's going to be out a while. They have Ruben Tejada, the former Met, they added for some depth, but nobody knew that Diaz was going to come up here and hit 500 like he is now. And he's on deck. So just like the Diamondbacks, they have moved from some infield pieces around in St. Louis. Greinke at 80 pitches, 56 strikes. Drury, they get one, they get two. 5-4-3 ends the sixth. Diamondbacks trail at 5-2.
Hits, no errors for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs trail at 5-2 as we start the bottom of the 6th inning here. Wellington Castillo, David Peralta, Chris Owings, 5, 6, and 7 against Jaime Garcia. Baxter up to his usual antics. Castillo has homered 6 times in his last 7 games. 4 homers in his last 3. So far, a ground out and a single tonight. Speaking of home runs, there is news from Reno. Peter O'Brien has homered twice for the Aces tonight. Fair ball. He blasts it by Carpenter at third. Rolls to the bullpen wall. And Castillo rolls into second. His second double this year. So for the second straight inning, the Diamondbacks have a leadoff double against Jaime Garcia.
Wellington seeing the ball really well right now. Laid off a first pitch changeup and then absolutely rips that fastball down into the left field corner for the double.
He's 2 for 3. Here's David Peralta. Bullpen will get busy for the Cardinals. Matt Bowman, the right-hander. So Peter O'Brien, 2 homers for Reno tonight. And Pete Howe has 6 on the year. He's already got 6 home runs down there. Oh, 0-2. Segura led off the 5th with a double. Diamondbacks could not turn that into anything. As Drury, Goldie, and Tomas all grounded out, he was stranded at second base. Garcia now 90 pitches, 57 strikes. One and two. D-backs have got to take advantage. They've had their opportunities. They have led off 5 of the 6 innings so far with a base runner, and only 2 of them have scored. Both times Yasmani Tomas in the 2nd and 4th. That'll get the run home. Grichuk won't get there, and the freight train is on the run. Here he goes. RBI triple, David Peralta. His 3rd triple this year.
That's an area of his game David's been struggling a little bit, hitting with runners in scoring position. No problem this time, however. Squares one up straight away center field over the head of Randall Grichuk. Once again, that's our Chaz Roberts cool play of the game. Back-to-back extra base hits to put a run on the board and a run at third base.
And here comes Mike Matheny. He wants his right-hander. That's going to end the night for Jaime Garcia. He'll go to Matt Bowman with the Diamondbacks getting to Garcia here. A double and a triple to lead off the 6th. They are back within 2. We'll be back right after this.
Half of the 6th inning, 1 run already in, another runner at third base with nobody out. Hey fans, join the D-backs for Throwback Thursdays presented by Chase. Before each Thursday home game, fans can pick up a collectible poster. This Thursday, April 28th, before the D-backs versus Cardinals game, there'll be a commemorative poster celebrating the 2001 World Series Championship. Only 4 posters remaining this season. Visit dbacks.com/throwback.
New pitcher for the Cardinals. There's Gonzo, Randy. Willie Bloomquist in the house, along with J.J. Putz. There's Willie, who just announced his retirement on the Twitter, actually, earlier this year. Matt Bowman, the right-hander, on to face Chris Owings. Peralta at third base. Nobody out, a run in for the Diamondbacks. Matt Bowman, a Rule 5 pick by the Cardinals from the New York Mets this winter. And he's done very well. He's a Princeton man. A 13th round pick by the Mets out of Princeton back in the draft 4 years ago. A 1.17 ERA in 6 appearances. Two and 0.
Well, that's a borderline balk right there. Bowman kind of brings his hands high up over his head and then starts to drop them very slowly. Didn't see a discernible stop that last time. Just kind of glides right into his delivery. Stop there.
Base hit. RBI single for CO, and it's a 5-4 ball game. 3 straight hits open up the Diamondbacks 6th.
Inside part of the plate fastball for Chris Owings. Bangs it right back up the middle of the field. You can see the Cardinals had their infielders really split wide up the middle. Both the second baseman and the shortstop protecting the hole, and Chris Owings found the big hole up the middle of the field.
And CO already 4 for 4 in his stolen base attempts this year. Zach Greinke in there now, batting 8th tonight. Carpenter creeping in from 3rd. Moss holds Owings on the bag at 1st. And Molina setting the infield defense. Greinke has struck out and walked. Matt Williams directs traffic at third base. D-backs have out hit the Cardinals 9-8, but they trail at 5-4. Glenn Sherlock, the bench coach, on the left. Chip Hale in the middle. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, on the right. Carpenter halfway in from 3rd. Greinke pulls back, but it's a strike 0-1. Carpenter charging in again. 1-1. Strike 2, says Dan Bellino.
That's a tough pitch for any pitcher to bunt. You want to really stick your nose in there. Well, actually, I'm not sure what that was. A backup slider perhaps on the inside corner of the plate. I was going to say that breaking ball, you really try to get out there and get your bat at the top of the strike zone, stick your nose in there, and then you see that breaking ball coming right at you.
Carpenter halfway in again. Greinke swings it right by him. CO will stop at second. He slipped up. How about Zach Greinke? Take that. A walk and a single tonight for Zach. There you go, driving the bus.
Well, that is just perfect. You show bunt early, that third baseman comes charging in and just slap it right past him. Outstanding job of hitting that time by Zach Greinke.
He's aboard for the second time tonight. David wanted to drive in the bus sign, and Zach finally relented. So the first 4 Diamondbacks have reached with base hits in the 6th inning. It's a 1-run ball game. Still nobody out. Owings at second, Greinke at first. Here's Nick Ahmed. Nick 0 for 2. He shows bunt and takes strike 1. Ahmed right now 2 for his last 28 at the plate. A discussion with Dan Bellino now. He's down to 206. Oh, and 2. Cardinals have a left-hander warming up in their bullpen. It's Kevin Segrist. Nothing but right-hand hitters due up for the Diamondbacks. The only lefty in the lineup is Peralta tonight. Missed away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tell you what, Dan Bellino done a really good job back there tonight from what we've seen lately. Owings at second. He's the tying run. Greinke at first. 2 and 2 on Nick Ahmed. Got him. First out for the Cardinals in the 6th.
Change up that time, right up in Nick's eyes.
Segura 3 for 3. Here comes Mike Matheny, and he's going to have a conversation with Dan Bellino. And it's going to go to the lefty Segrist.
Yeah, Segrist has held righties to a .050 batting average this year. He's one of those guys that Mike Matheny trusts to face either righties or lefties.
So Jerko will come out. He made the final out in the top half of this inning. Colton Wong in at second base. Diamondbacks have a threat going. Back in a moment. Bases after a big hit. It's the drive and the bus move, and David Peralta trying desperately from the dugout to get Zack Greinke to play along. Watch Zach on the right. All right, there you go.
Well, Zach's not used to driving the bus. Usually he sits in the back of the limo.
Exactly. So here we go. Diamondbacks threat continues. They have pulled back within 1, 2 on, 1 out. The new pitcher for the Cardinals, the left-hander Kevin Seacrest. His 9th appearance this year, and he has an ERA of 0. That's pretty good. I'm no expert, but
not bad.
Yeah. Colton Wong takes over at second base. He will hit 9th. Pitcher's spot is now 7th in the Cardinal order. Chris Owings is at second. Zack Greinke at first. 1 out. And Gene Segura, the hitter, he is 3 for 3 tonight. 2 singles and a double. The major league leader in base hits. And second on the team at RBIs behind only Goldie. Tying runs at second. 1 out. Hammers that one foul. Yikes.
One thing we know about the game of baseball is things can change quickly. But you look at the St. Louis bullpen this year in 18 ball games, they have not let in more than 2 runs in any game. 53 in the 3rd innings pitched, they've allowed 14 runs.
That's how you win postseason games and series. Mike Matheny's gone a long way with his bullpen. One and two.
Basically just a 2-pitch mix from Seacrest, a fastball and a changeup. He'll throw an occasional slider to a left-handed hitter, but the fastball in the mid-90s, the changeup in the low 80s.
Castillo doubled the lead off the inning. Peralta tripled. Owings had an RBI single. Greinke singled. Ahmed struck out. Now here's Segura. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fights that one off. It stays 1 and 2.
Cut on that fastball, runs it right in on the hands of Gene Segura, just gets a piece.
Owings at second. Greinke at first. Foul ground. Moss can't get there. Moss gathers no foul ball. Something that works for me. I'll get back to you on that.
A shot of Goldie there on the top step of the dugout on the 3rd base side, and I think it was him that said be careful. He was looking out toward Chris Owings, said careful. I'm not sure if he read something in the Cardinals defense there. Colton Wong tried to sneak in that time on the inside move by Seacrest. Always into the game.
Segura drives it out of here. Gone. Mr. Bradley, would you like some tacos?
Always, always.
How about a jumbo jack?
Absolutely.
That bus is rolling right over the Cardinals here in the 6th.
2/3 of the fast food trifecta on one swing of the bat. Seager's trying to go back inside once again with that fastball, and this time Segura doesn't get jammed. He absolutely rips a line drive home on the left.
Segura 4 for 4, and it's 7-5 Diamondbacks. Brandon Drury. A 5-run Arizona 6th, and still only 1 out. How's that trade looking now, by the way?
Well, that's a dimension he brings. I mean, he has a lot of attributes that you look for in a leadoff hitter. He's fast. He hits his way on base an awful lot. He can steal a base. But he's got some pop in that bat. His 4th home run of the season. This one a liner into left.
He's tied Goldie for the team lead in RBIs, 15 now. And the D-backs, as our producer Brad the Big Dog Weimer correctly points out, have hit for the cycle in the inning. BB. Castillo doubled, Peralta tripled, Owings and Greinke singled, and now the Segura homer. 2-1 on Brandon Drury. Base hit. Keep the line moving. 6th hit in this inning for the Diamondbacks.
For 3 different pitchers, Jaime Garcia gave up the first 2. Matt Bowman gave up the next 2, and now Kevin Seager's into the ballgame, giving up 2 of his own.
Goldie has walked and twice grounded out to 3rd. Diamondbacks in this inning are 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 12 in the first 5 innings. And Goldie, the 8th man to bat here in the Arizona 6th. Bullpen busy for the Cardinals again. And Greinke, who singled and scored in this inning, is now in line for the win. And that was your Valley Honda key to the game.
Goldie to play thing back to yesterday's ball game. 2 home runs and 3 walks in a loss. That's the first time that's happened since 2002, and it's only happened 9 times since 1913.
9 times. Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, is out there, as Seth Maness, the right-hander, is warming up at the Cardinal bullpen. You got tacos all right, big boy. Goldie up there after homering twice here yesterday. His 8th career multi-home run game. But so far tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. He's got a 5-game hit streak going.
There are 10 wins for the Diamondbacks this season, and 7 of them they came from behind. It's getting to be a regular occurrence.
Gritty gutty Diamondbacks. The grit narrative is back. Out of play, 1-1. Chris Owings has 2 RBIs today. Brandon Drury, that good a base runner? Am I missing something?
He looks fast.
I guess so. Two balls and one strike to Goldie. As Manny Tomas in the cleanup spot tonight is on deck. Tomas has scored twice tonight. Tell you what, we've learned anything on this homestand so far, Bob. This team can score runs. Putting up some big numbers here. Ooh, missed there, and it's 3-1 to Goldie, who's leading the major leagues in walks.
Sechrist wanted that one. You can see why. Caught a little bit of that down and in corner right there. And Goldie's not the kind of guy you want to fall behind 3-1. Something you don't see often.
No, you don't. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, Goldie letting out a little bit of shaft, trying to hit that ball up into Friday's front row.
That was right down the middle. He doesn't see a lot of pitches there in his defense. 3-2 now. Drury holding at first, and there is Goldie's second walk tonight. And here comes Tomas, the ninth man to bat in the inning. Mike Matheny to the mound now, and he's going to go get Sechrist. He'll go to the right-hander, Seth Maness. It's a 5-run Diamondbacks sixth, and still counting. They lead at 7-5. Hey fans, tomorrow a reminder the Diamondback game is only on FS1. Matt Carpenter of the Cardinals, Goldie and the D-backs, second of a 4-game series. It all starts at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. You can watch it there live on FS1 or go to Fox Sports Go. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Carlos Martinez for the Cardinals, and the former Cardinal Shelby Miller goes for the Diamondbacks, who have scored 5 runs in this inning, still just 1 out. Yasmani Tomas. And the new pitcher for the Cardinals, the right-hander Seth Maness.
Basically a 2-pitch guy. Sinker changeup.
He's up there with Brandon Drury at second, Goldie at first. And 5 runs in already, still just 1 out. Tomas, the 9th man to hit in this inning. How about this? We're starting to see, Bob, on this homestand, the offense that we saw from the Diamondbacks throughout spring training when they led everybody in hits and runs and the whole thing. They have scored at least 7 runs now in 4 consecutive games, counting tonight. Last time the Diamondbacks did that, August of 2010. Segura has been leading the parade. 4 for 4. Yasmani Tomas, right center, and it goes over the wall. El Tanque, Yasmani Tomas, 8-5 Diamondbacks. Goldie has to go back to third. Tomas, his second double tonight.
Stayed right on that ball. Sinker out over the plate and down and splits that gap. Headed for the pool. Unfortunately, bounces up and over. Goldie was going to score if that ball hits the fence and stays in play.
Yeah, Yasmani is now hit in a career high 11 straight games. 2 doubles and a walk for Tomas. He's already scored twice. He's at second, Goldie at third. And the Diamondbacks bat around. Wellington Castillo, who led off this inning with a double, is up there again.
Now, we knew this Diamondbacks team was capable of these kind of outbursts because we saw it all spring at Salt River Fields almost every day.
Six runs in this 6th, ties the mark for the most runs in any inning this year. It is the most Diamondback hits in 1 inning. They have 7 hits and 6 runs here in the 6th, and still just 1 out. That'll make the hitting coach feel pretty good. Infield in, Castillo, right center, and that ball is down. Goldie scores. Here comes Tomas. He will score. 10-5 Diamondbacks. That bus is rolling right over the Cardinals.
Sinker might have got in on the trademark just a little bit, but Wellington Castillo plenty strong enough to drive that ball out there toward the gap in right center, driving home a couple of more.
Castillo now 3 for 4. David Peralta steps in. David has 2 hits tonight, a single in the 2nd, an RBI triple earlier in this inning.
And that triple earlier in this inning tied David Peralta with D. Gordon for the most triples since 2014 in the big leagues.
Well, we don't call him the freight train for nothing. David led the league in triples last year. Bounce to second. Whoa, it goes right through him. Castillo will hit for third, and he's in there. Colton Wong inserted in this inning as part of a double switch, replacing Jed Jerko at second base. And the inning continues.
4th error of the season for Colton Wong. Looked like a tailor-made double play ball. He kind of backs up on it, just clanks it off the leather, loses his footing. Getting a little bit ahead of himself, trying to make that backhanded shovel toss before he had control of the baseball.
Chris Owings, the 12th man to hit in this Diamondback 6th. They're on the corners with 1 out. CO has 2 RBIs tonight. He singled and scored earlier in this inning. Now an 8-run Diamondback 6th. It'd be a tough night to be a Cardinal fan here. I mean, some guys come into town to see all 4 games of their Redbirds, and you're looking at an 8-run Diamondback 6th. The old Willie McGee uniforms, the polyesters, are out tonight.
Yeah. A lot of Cardinal fans on that first base side, and boy, they were all teeth, all smiles earlier in the ball game. Bummed.
CO knocks it into left. Another RBI for Chris Owings. It's 11-5 Diamondbacks. Yeah, he's not getting any happier. He's wearing it right now. They're not used to this.
No.
Zach Greinke. I know that guy. I'm kind of picking on him now. Shouldn't have done that. He's a good dude. Cardella in the house. Greinke's been on base twice. He has walked, singled, scored a run.
Boy, and the single was a beauty. Faked the bunt, drew Matt Carpenter in at third, and then slapped it right by him into left field.
The 13th man to bat in the bottom of the 6th. And there's still only 1 out.
We just passed the 37-minute mark for this half inning.
Hey, you can keep this going as long as you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm fine with it myself. D-backs record for hits in 1 inning is 10. That was set last August against the Phillies. We have 9 hits right now.
I gave you the numbers on the Cardinal bullpen. They have not allowed more than 2 runs in any single game. They've let up 14 total runs all season coming into tonight, 7 in this inning. Credited to the Cardinal bullpen.
Right behind Matt Williams. Blues have a big game tonight, don't they? Taking on the Blackhawks. They beat your Blackhawks. Game 7. Well, there's a depressed Blackhawk fan. 1-2 on Greinke. The out at second. But Greinke's aboard at first. Yeah. Dude.
Wong having a rough inning out there at second base. Appeared to be an easy double play ball. Just mishandled it as he tried to make the exchange from glove into throwing hand, keeping the inning going.
The 14th man to bat in the bottom of the 6th is Nick Ahmed. Greinke's been aboard 3 times tonight. That is a fielder's choice. 1-4 on the putout. Can't assume the double play, so no error. Peralta at third and Greinke at first. 2 outs. Nick tonight 0 for 3. Right field, Piscotty. And the inning ends. But the Diamondbacks put up 9 in the 6th. They scored 9 times. Segura's 3-run homer, the highlight. They lead it 11-5.
In the bottom of the 6th to take an 11-5 lead. Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
11-5 as we start the 7th. Zach Greinke back out there. And that was your Valley Honda key to the game, home alone.
Yeah.
We don't have a member of the top 3 in the rotation with a win here at Chase Field, and Greinke maybe well on his way here with a 6-run lead. And he's only at 81 pitches. Foul ground, Diaz. Gomez got it. I'm not sure that poor guy's blinked tonight. He might have missed a few Diamondback hits. I think he's turned his hat around looking for some kind of Cardinal rally here. He's got to be a big fan. Yeah, no blinking. Willie McGee. Colton Wong's first at bat.
You wonder if Chip Hale might think about shortening up Zach Greinke with a seemingly comfortable 6-run lead here in the 7th inning. Maybe pull the plug a little bit early, save him some innings for later in the year.
Used 7 relievers yesterday. They did freshen up the bullpen a bit when Tyler Wagner and Evan Marshall were sent to Reno. And Dominic Leone called up from Reno. Keith Hessler from AA Mobile. So they have a couple of fresh short arms back there. That's out of play.
You know, back in 01, we used to always try to look for opportunities to get RJ and Schill out of there early in a ball game with a big lead. They never wanted to come out of the ball game, but manager and the pitching coach have to look big picture. A lot of ball games left this season.
Castillo will complete the strikeout. Just the 2nd strikeout tonight for Greinke. And here's Matt Carpenter, who's 1 for 3. He led off the game with a base hit.
Greinke's second strikeout in the ball game. The Diamondbacks pitchers recorded 17 punch-outs last night. Those K's wrapped all the way around the upper deck. Only 2 on the big board tonight.
At one point, Greinke had retired 8 straight Cardinals from the second through the end of the fourth. Mostly on ground ball outs. Two and one. Diamondbacks, what a homestand so far. 7 runs on 15 hits Friday in the loss to the Pirates. 7 runs, 7 hits. They beat Pittsburgh Saturday. Yesterday, 10 runs on 15 hits. And tonight, 11 runs on 15 hits. Carpenter drives this to right center. And here comes the Cardinals. 3rd home run for Matt Carpenter. That might perk up our Cardinal fan down there. He turned his hat around backwards looking for a rally. Maybe that'll start it.
Zach Greinke's in a situation right here. He'd rather throw that ball down the middle of the plate than give up a walk. Don't allow the Cardinals to get some runners on base and turn it into a big inning. And occasionally you're going to give up those solo bombs.
I think he might have started something.
He's delirious.
At least he started blinking. That's something. They're smiling. Stephen Piscotty. First of 4 between these two, the D-backs and the Cardinals. FS1 has the game tomorrow night for you. Shelby Miller and Carlos Martinez. Bob and I are back Wednesday. Patrick Corbin and Adam Wainwright. Then Ruby De La Rosa and Waka Waka Thursday. Brandon Drury spins and throws. Scotty runs well. He's aboard. Stephen Piscotty 2 for 4 tonight. His second single.
We're having a little fun up here, breathing a little easier with the big lead, but I guarantee you Chip Hale is still grinding over there. He's been around enough baseball games to know that no lead is ever safe until you get the last out of the ball game.
He's got Andrew Chafin warming up very quickly in the bullpen. Here's Mike Butcher to stall for at least 30 seconds anyway. Andrew has really got it cranked up down there. Sanderson Ford bullpen, the sheriff Andrew Chafin. Here comes Dan Bellino to break this up as time expires on Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. Carpenter's home run, the second of the ball game for the Cardinals. Here's the guy that hit the other one. Jeremy Hazelbaker, who took over in left field when Matt Holliday had to leave with leg cramps. 2-run opposite field home run back in the 5th. That's when the Cardinals got 3. Diamondbacks answered with 9 in the 6th. This is into right center. Piscotty flying into third. He's going to come in and score. Hazelbaker, who has homered, is in easily at third with a stand-up RBI triple. Three straight two-out hits for St. Louis, and it's 11-7. That's going to be it for Greinke.
One of the few times we've seen Chris Owings take a bad line after a ball in center field. Way too shallow this time as he ran over into right center to try to cut this one off. And ends up retreating all the way to the wall to chase that one down.
Andrew Chafin coming in back after this. At Chase Field, D-backs lead the Cardinals 11-7, but getting a little too close for comfort for Chip Hale. So Zach Greinke is out. Your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. It's the sheriff, the left-hander Andrew Chafin. He's allowed just one run in his last 9 appearances. He'll work to the left-hand hitting Brandon Moss with 2 outs and Jeremy Hazelbaker at third.
16 pitches in the ball game yesterday for Andrew Chafin.
Moss 0 for 3. He's got an RBI ground out. There's strike one. Moss up there 1 for his last 21 at the plate. But you have to be careful. He's got good power. He's homered 4 times this year. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, sort of right behind the second base bag, shaded over there anyway. And Chafin is behind 2 balls and a strike. Missed again, 3-1. Randall Grichuk on deck. Bullpen busy again for the Cardinals. The left-hander Tyler Lyons is warming up. Missed with a fastball at the knees, and it's a walk to Moss. Chafin will work to Randall Grichuk. Grichuk tripled in the first when St. Louis got 2 against Greinke. Hazelbaker at third, Moss at first. Grichuk 1 for 3. He homered Friday in San Diego. He was 3 for 5 yesterday when they beat the Padres at Petco Park. Ball 1. Chafin so far 6 pitches, only 1 strike. You see Grichuk's track record against left-hand pitchers this year. Near the line, and he's got it. Chafin strands 2, but the Cardinals get 2. We stretch at Chase Field. It's 11-7.
On tonight, D-backs lead is 11-7. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Gene Segura with a blast, a 3-run homer in the 6th inning. Also has 2 singles and a double in the ballgame. He's a triple away from the cycle.
D-backs haven't had a cycle since Aaron Hill, who had those back-to-back cycles back in June of 2012. Any cycle within another cycle is pretty much back-to-back. Didn't do it back-to-back games. Close enough. 4 for 4 up there. What an inning for the Diamondbacks. They sent 14 men to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Got 9 runs on 9 hits. Williams still has those hands down at third. They always will.
Yep.
When you watch some of the plays he made behind RJ in that World Series, just sensational.
I was fortunate enough to play with Matty in San Francisco. I've had an opportunity to watch him make a lot of good plays down there at the hot corner. He actually came up as a shortstop.
One of the legends here at Chase Field. Big win for Randy Johnson, running Randy tonight. Short hop for Carpenter at third. On the way.
Defensive changes for St. Louis this inning. Moving from shortstop to second base, number 36, Aledmus Diaz. Now at shortstop, number 19, Ruben Tejada.
Ruben Tejada has checked into the ball game for the Cardinals. He's the shortstop.
Brandon Drury.
So changes defensively. There's Ruben Tejada, the former Met. And Aledmus Diaz moves over to second, replacing Colton Wong. Ruben Tejada, of course, broke his leg on the now infamous Chase Utley slide rule play. There's Aledmus Diaz, who moves from short to second. Brandon Drury blasts it to left field. That's a fair ball. It's off the wall. And Brandon Drury is in there with his 5th double. Brandon with a 2-hit night.
Sinker up over the inside part of the plate. That's what you're supposed to do with elevated sinkers right there. Just bangs it off that bullpen wall down into the left field corner.
In scoring position for Goldie, who was 0 for 2. He has walked twice and scored a run. Two and one. That's behind Molina. Brandon Drury will get third here. Wild pitch is charged to Seth Maness. Infield comes in for the Cardinals now. 3-1 on Goldie. All 4. He walks for the 3rd time tonight, already leading the major leagues in walks. Yasmani Tomas. Good night for Yasmani. He's now hitting 11 straight games. He has doubled twice, walked, and scored 3 runs. Oh, that's a good look right there. Right to Tejada. Diaz turns 2. Well, ahead to the 8th inning. Diamondbacks lead the Cardinals 11-7.
clean.
Our Gila River game summary clean.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do? Stop writing? Look at that 6th inning. Diamondbacks 14 men to the plate. 9 runs on 9 hits. Our Gila River game summary. Gene Segura leading the charge. The major league hits leader got 4 tonight so far. 2 singles, a double, a 3-run homer. And as we start the 8th inning, it's 11-7 Diamondbacks. And Andrew Chafin back out there. That's a fan's scorecard. Fan is scoring the game here.
Probably learned from the governor. The governor used to have clinics teaching fans how to keep score.
Boy, he has got a very intricate system over there with color-coded pens, special pencils. He knows what he's doing. He scored a few games in his day in this ballpark. Molina singled his last time up, 1 for 3, leads off the 8th. Started off as a rough night for Zack Greinke. Cardinals got 2 in the top of the 1st. Diamondbacks chipped away. They tied it at 2 in the 4th. Cardinals got 3 in the 5th. So they had a 5-2 lead. Then the Diamondbacks a 9-run 6. Now Greinke in line for the win. Along the right field line. Peralta runs it down. The freight train has it.
Ball slicing away from him the entire time. Long run, full speed for David Peralta, sliding on his belly into foul territory. Great effort. Andrew Chafin appreciates that. Avoid that leadoff extra base hit.
Pitcher spot is up for the Cardinals, and Eric Fryer, the backup catcher, who's had only 8 plate appearances all year, will take the at bat. There's strike 1. 6 hits in his 8 plate appearances this year, so he's done well. You're hitting .857. Things are going all right for you.
Not bad.
Veteran Brian Payne is on the shelf. Fryer is from Mike Matheny's hometown, actually. You may know where this is. Reynoldsburg, Ohio.
Sure, right outside Columbus. I mentioned earlier in the game that Mike Matheny went to the University of Michigan. Very conflicted because his daughter is a hockey player at Ohio State.
Well, if he grew up right outside of Columbus, how did he go to Michigan in the first place? Isn't that against the rules?
That's a good question. Poaching.
That doesn't happen a lot. Broken bat, Goldie has it. 2 down. How did the fighting Bobcats land you exactly? How'd that work out?
Well, at the time they had a great baseball program, one of the best in the Midwest. Southern Illinois, the Salukis down in Carbondale, Illinois. Notre Dame at the time had a real good baseball program, and Ohio University had a great program, and they wanted me, so I wanted them.
Mike Schmidt had gone and played there, of course.
Steve Swisher, former catcher.
Yeah, smashes one to Ahmed, and Chafin works a 1-2-3 8th inning. Diamondbacks lead it 11-7.
last night Chip Hale talked about his team needing to embrace the pressure. Pressure needed to be this team's friend. They did tonight, right?
Absolutely. They feed off the pressure. They're coming into the 6th inning down 5-2. Huge inning, no pressure at all. They just lived on it, and that was the game pretty much.
All right, so we will break down that 6th inning and so much more. The post-game show right after this one is done. But right now, let's send it back to Steve and Bob. Guys, it's all yours. Bring it home.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Look forward to that. A lot of highlights, certainly, on Diamondback Live post-game show with Webby and the Lightning Todd Walsh. Wellington Castillo leads off the Arizona 8th inning. He's got 3 hits, 2 singles, and a double. He has scored twice. Welly actually had 2 hits in that 6th inning. When the Diamondbacks sent 14 men to the plate, had 9 runs on 9 hits. And that puts Zach Greinke in line for the win. Here's the numbers on Tyler Lyons, the left-hander, the Cardinals pitcher. Even though it wasn't a great pitching performance for Zach, down 2-0 after a half inning and down 5-2 after 5. He's going to get the win here if this final holds up. And the last time a Diamondbacks pitcher gave up 7 earned runs and got the win, have to go all the way back to April 20th of 2010. Dan Herron. Castillo reaches down and lifts it in the air, left center. Greinke is there. And that's the first out here in the 8th.
Right fielder, David Peralta.
David Peralta. Peralta has singled. RBI triple. He scored a run. So David has hit safely now in 4 straight and 10 of his last 12. Over the mound, here comes Tejada. Chris Owings. And it's been a good night for CO. 2 singles in that 9-run D-back 6th. He's also had an RBI ground out. Don't forget, fans, tomorrow night's game is not on Fox Sports Arizona. They'll have it for you exclusively on FS1. Shelby Miller, the former Cardinal, up against his old team, one of his old teams anyway. Carlos Martinez goes for St. Louis off the glove of Moss at first. He's looking down in the glove like there's a hole in it. And there might be after that one. That's a base hit for CO, his 3rd hit tonight.
I don't think Moss was expecting the ball to be hit that hard his direction, but CO scalds that line drive just off the webbing of the glove and on into right field.
He's looking for the hole in the glove. And Ricky Weeks Jr. will hit for the pitcher Andrew Chafin. Ricky 3 for 14 this year, 2 RBIs. Smashes this to Greinke in center. It's over his head. Owens is racing home. He will score. It's 12-7 Diamondbacks. An RBI double for Ricky Weeks Jr. Felix and Oscar out there. One of them's loving it.
Well, I tell you, the Diamondbacks have made Randall Greinke pay out there in center field. He likes to play shallow. He trusts his confidence to go back on the ball, but they have hit some bullets over his head in center field. This one up against the 407 mark, and CO motoring all the way around from first.
Well, Nick Ahmed last chance to get on the hit parade here. Nick tonight 0 for 4. D-backs now with 12 runs on 18 hits.
Nick playing the role of team guy tonight.
Somebody's got to make the out.
Yep.
Well, Nick could use a base hit, 2 for his last 30 at the plate right now. Enrique Burgos warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Looks like he'll get the 9th.
Daniel Hudson was down there just playing a little bit of catch, but with that tack-on run right there, it looks like Daniels had a seat in favor of Enrique Burgos.
Here's big Enrique. Buddy's had a seat. Burgos just about the only guy back there who didn't pitch yesterday. They have brought Keith Hessler up from Mobile, Dominic Leone up from Reno. Tyler Wagner and Evan Marshall option to the Aces today. He did not go. Adam Hamari at first, 3-1 on Ahmed. Segura, triple shy of the cycle, trying to get one more crack at it here. Ariel Prieto with his close personal friend David Peralta. Don't forget FS1 tomorrow, fans. Game 2 of the 4-game set. It all starts at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. You can also watch it live on the old app now. That's a great way to watch D-backs baseball. Fox Sports Go. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Check out the game tomorrow.
We look forward to every game all season long, but I'm especially anxious to see what Shelby Miller does tomorrow night.
You're right. Ball 4. So here comes Segura with a chance for the cycle. Shelby has had a number of side sessions since the last start. When it seemed like he scraped his hand on the mound again. Still not sure if he did or not. Chip Hale says no. Mike Butcher says everything's okay. The hand is not an issue. But they've had a couple of mechanical side sessions trying to get Shelby fixed. Segura singled in the first, singled in the third, doubled in the fifth, hit a 3-run homer in the 6th. Oh, and 2. Rolls it to Diaz at second. And that's the inning. Diamondbacks add one more. 9th inning from Chase Field. D-backs 12, Cardinals 7. Cardinals 12-7 after a sensational 6th inning. And during this inning, the Diamondbacks sent 14 men to the plate. They scored 9 runs on 9 hits. That's our Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. And there's our Cardinal fan, still has not blinked. 9th inning, Enrique Burgos, the big right-hander, on for the Diamondbacks. Well, that guy's got 3 more games here. Hopefully they all go like this. But
I want to invest in some eye drops. or get some of those shades the guy had on earlier in the ball game.
Oh,
where
yeah,
you can't see his eyes.
Ruben Tejada will lead off the 9th inning. His first at bat tonight, checked in at shortstop. 1 for 5 with a double his first season with the Cardinals, the longtime New York Met, where he was the victim of the now infamous Chase Utley slide into second base last postseason, on which he suffered a broken leg. That led to the Chase Utley slide rule, as it's now known.
The slide rule.
You know, like the kind the architects use.
Sure.
Someone was the architect of a new rule that most players actually don't like, apparently, but it's worked out so far.
You know, they named a surgery after Tommy John. They named a rule after Buster Posey, Chase Utley. That's beginning to be a thing. You know, have something big named after you.
What would be the Brenly rule?
I don't know.
It would have something to do with umpires, I'm sure. 2-1.
You can't get ejected for anything you say to an umpire.
I like it. Well, under the Brenly rule here, Bob, we know he can't be ejected.
I can say whatever I want.
Could have used that yesterday with Nick Ahmed. 2-2 on Ruben Tejada. 7 seasons with the Mets. Tejada hit .255 there. Enrique Burgos just called up from AAA Reno over the weekend. Silvino Bracho sent back to the minor leagues. Full count, 3-2. I think we have to give it to Brandon Webb, who authored, I think, a phrase that might catch on here, calling them the Never Say Diamondbacks. They have come back again. The D-backs, if they hang on here, it'll be their 8th comeback win this year, the most of the major leagues. And Burgos strikes out Tejada.
University of Kentucky education wasn't totally wasted.
Yeah, stop showing off, Webby. 8 comeback wins, the most of the majors. And for the D-backs, 12 runs, their most this year. 18 hits, their most this year. Matt Carpenter has singled and homered. He's 2 for 4. Tell you what, we've seen a few runs scored the last 24 hours or so. D-backs got 10 runs on 15 hits yesterday, and we're on the short end of a 12-10 final against the Pirates. Tonight, 12 runs on 18 hits. For the Never Say Diamondbacks. I think Webby's already printing up some t-shirts down there. Sell them in Todd's garage. Todd could hook them up. Diamondback Live post-game show as soon as our ball game is over. I'm still holding out hope that Todd will get the Michael Strahan job. I think he'd be a great fit. He and Gelman could patch up their differences, get him in there with Kelly, get her back on track.
You have to work on his wardrobe a little bit.
Well, they'll hook him up. They'll get him a deal. It's New York, right? You get one of those gigs, you get a clothes deal.
Well, I'm sure Todd knows a guy.
Well, duh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. You can dress him like that. Look at the poor guy on the right. It's been a long night for Cardinal fans here. Burgos strikes out Carpenter. Enrique Burgos mowing him down. Stephen Piscotty, last man standing for St. Louis. Piscotty has singled twice and scored 3 times tonight.
Wow. Man, I'll tell you, Enrique Burgos has reinvented himself with that split-fingered fastball.
Watch this thing drop.
Yeah, he had good stuff last year, but geez, that's nearly unhittable.
Dave Stewart insists it's a forkball. Other guys call it a split-finger fastball. Has the same movement on it anyway.
You can call it a spoon ball if you want. Whatever it is, it's working well for him.
Yeah. Coaches have really pushed Burgos to use it, throw it with conviction. Fastball fouled off, and it's 1-2, a strike away here. Diamondback Live postgame show is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Don't forget, fans, tomorrow night's game on FS1. It all starts at 6 o'clock. Shelby Miller and Carlos Martinez. 1-2 on Stephen Piscotty. Burgos strikes out the side, and the Diamondbacks come back and win it 12-7. Led by a 9-run 6th inning. Their 8th comeback win this year. They trailed it at 1.52. 8 comeback wins, the most of the majors this year for the Never Say Diamondbacks.
Starting to look like the team we saw in the Cactus League, just pummeling opposing pitchers, driving the ball all over the ballpark, and everybody up and down the lineup getting involved.
Well, a lot of highlights to discuss on Diamondback Live postgame show. Brandon Webb has stopped printing T-shirts up out there, and he's standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Steve, thank you very much, and let's just get right to this, Brandon, because did I miss something? When
I
did
came
you
up with a great quote, I guess.
When did you say never say Diamondbacks?
I think that was Friday or Saturday. I think.
Well, I was here.
I believe
sitting
so.
next to you. You said
I believe
that.
it was.
My
yeah.
goodness, it slipped through the cracks.
I guess so. Yeah.
I
it was a
thought
good
maybe
one.
that was some
good
form
one.
of plagiarism, or at least revisionist history from Steve.
Sure it was.
But I applaud you.
Thank you.
That's outstanding. We'll get the garage people right on it. So here we go. We have a postgame show to break down all of the mechanisms that I see here on your scorecard, and all the colors and all the runs scored as the Diamondbacks do come back in grand fashion. What a win here tonight. 12-7 your final in game 1 of this 4-game series. When we come back on the field with Jody Jackson, upstairs to the booth we go with Bob Brentley, and inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse. It is Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, and it's next.